Hey, howdy, hey. Welcome back to my channel. So there's been some drama on Twitter regarding RuPaul's Drag Race and the cast of All Stars 10. And I figured I would go live to talk to y'all about it because this mess is spicy and hot and wild. This is chaos on the Drag Race interwebs, and I wanted to talk to y'all about it. And also because season 18 of RuPaul's Drag Race premieres in just a few short days. I will be reviewing on this channel, so make sure you're hitting that like button, sharing, and subscribing to become part of the Sandwich community. Ding! You can also follow me on my other social media platforms at Sandwich Hour on all platforms. Um, Before we do get into this drama, I do want to say do not send hate to any of the queens mentioned in this video because that's not what these are meant for. These are meant for us to have a fun time over here on this side of the interwebs, talk about all things Drag Race, and have a cute little kiki. So, that is my intro. Intro done. And I wanted to talk to y'all about this chaos magic that has been the Ginger Minj versus the entire cast of All Stars 10 minus Lydia and Mistress. It's funny because like All Stars 10 feels like so long ago, and I feel like we've all moved on as a fandom. Like people were mad, obviously, about Ginger winning. I was one of them, low key. I thought Georgia should have won, but people moved on. Like she won. It's over. We moved on. It's been months, right? So now what happened was what had happened. No, what happened was Ginger went on the Kelly Mantle show, the Kelly Mantle podcast. I don't know. It's a very funny show. Love Kelly Mantle. I believe it's actually produced by Trixie and Katya. I believe they're the company that they do with Bald and the Beautiful also produces the Kelly Mantle show. I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure they're affiliated with one another. Affiliated, sure. And Ginger was on the show, on the Kelly Mantle show, the Kelly Mantle show. Um, and first there were a few clips that went viral from it. One clip in which she said she was kept being cast on All Stars 10 when she was in a hospital bed, not doing well, and then got a phone call saying she was on the show. And then someone also compared that to a clip from the Entertainment Weekly interview that they had done when the cast was first announced. And Ginger said she found out about the cast and found out she was on the same time her and Denali were on a cruise together, and they had talked about it. And that's when they both discovered they were cast on All Stars 10. So the stories aren't lining up from jump with Ginger, which is something that, if you follow the Drag Race sphere, the Drag Race cinematic universe, if you've been involved at all within the community of Drag Race or any of the above, you know there's some rumors, some lore, if you will, that Ginger says a lot of things, and not all the things Ginger says are true. Not to say Ginger is a liar, but like there's some stuff there, there's some history. So it's interesting. It's interesting that this is happening again. Now, later in the interview, um, Kelly asked her about Mistress Isabel Brooks because of the whole drama with Mistress and Ginger during the Snatch Game episode, and talking to her about how things are with her and Mistress now. Which Ginger said Mistress was one of the only real ones on the show, saying her and Lydia were the only ones who would actually check in on her during the process of the show airing, and claiming that all the other girls turned on Ginger and stopped talking to her, just found ways to. I don't. She said in a quote. Well, I don't. Okay. She said it felt to her that people were turning on her and going against Ginger for their own clout, I guess, for lack of a better term. And this clip is now out on the Kelly Mantle show, and it's going viral, and all over TikTok and Twitter and all this internet spaces. So now we have all the other queens of All Stars 10 responding to Ginger and the mess that is this whole Kelly Mantle show interview. Not to say that her show is a mess, but the interview was a mess because the whole Ginger lore chaos, right? So now we have queens like Bosco saying, telling her, I don't know if you'll ever get the Broadway role, but you sure know how to play the victim. Bosco, Daya said something. Cynthia Lee Fontaine said something. And if you have Cuckoo, who's considered one of the sweetest queens in the entire Drag Race universe, talking about saying that you aren't saying the truth, there's something going on there. I trust Cynthia Lee Fontaine so much from everything I've heard of her from other queens. Everyone says how sweet and how kind and honest and good person Cynthia Lee Fontaine is, right? So if you have Cynthia Lee Fontaine calling you out on your bullshit, this is some bullshit. What is going on? And my entire view of this thing, if I were to look from a outside, like this is the full picture perspective, right? My opinion, I feel like this was unnecessary. I feel like Ginger making a big deal out of all of this didn't need to happen. She could have just continued on and not said anything, right? And then none of this would be happening right now. None of this would be happening. And also, I was watching Monet Exchange on YouTube. She did a live stream. So Monet has her own talk show as well called Monet Talks. And allegedly, this isn't alleged. She did an interview with Ginger regarding other things that have come up about Ginger and Bob and other queens. And that will be coming out not this week, but next week, according to Monet. So there's going to be a whole nother heaping of lore, of tea, of all of this coming out in a few short weeks. So even though things might die down for a little bit after this, I have a feeling it's just going to blow back up. And I'm just like, Ginger, what are you doing? What are you doing? I think she should have waited a little bit longer before doing interviews. Because there is so much controversy. I don't want to say controversy, but there is controversy over her win. And because there is so much, I feel like it would have been better for her to have waited a few years and then come back and said your story, right? I don't know. It's interesting. I also was watching another YouTuber, Mira Mangle, shout out, comparing this to the Robbie Turner situation. And I'm like, honestly, I kind of see where you're coming from because Robbie Turner had this whole lie come out about the Uber driver, right? And then basically had to go away from the internet and still has now come back. So I'm curious to see how much farther this goes. And again, I'm not Ginger. I can't speak for Ginger. I'm just telling y'all what I've seen online as a spectator. Spectator? Viewer? Sure. And kind of my perspective. I am very curious to see how this turns out. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting next few weeks. We also do, like I said, have All-Stars, not All-Stars, Season 18 of RuPaul's Drag Race premiering on Friday, January 2nd on MTV. I don't know what that was, but sure. And I will be covering that on my YouTube channel, so make sure you're hitting that like button, sharing, and subscribing. Like I said, I will try to get my reviews out Fridays. If they're not out Friday, they will be out Saturday. So definitely be on the lookout for those. And yeah, that I've been talking here for a good almost 10 minutes. Giving you all the lore, the goss, the tea, the whatever you want to call it on the Ginger Minj situation. And again, this is not meant to send hate to Ginger Minj. This is not meant to send hate to any of the queens of All Stars 10. This is just me telling y'all what's been going on this side of the interwebs. And yeah, I think that brings me to the end of this video. Yeah. Live stream? Video? It's more of a video because no one's here. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. Have a good rest of your night or day, wherever you. Have a good rest of your day, night, wherever you are. I hope you enjoy your day. Hope you're having a great end of the year, and I hope you have a happy new year. I will be back here on Friday or Saturday with my All-Star with my RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18 Episode 1 review. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Ding!